Have you ever paid attention to it? When you enter a watchmaker, it usually shows 10 past 10, late on the clocks or clock advertisements in the display case or on the walls. Yes, its summit can be forward or backward for 1 or 2 minutes, but analog clocks are usually present when you're showing 10 past 10. Go to an online sales site and search for the time. Extract digital and filter analog clocks only. Almost all of the hundreds of models of dozens of brands are located approximately at 10 past 10. The dates and days on it are different, but the time seems to have stopped at the same point. In fact, this has not always been the case. Until the 1950s, it was photographed to show 20 past 8. But from the 1950s, it has changed. Now we can say the default state of the clocks is 10 past 10. Why? There are some theories about this, but most of them consist of urban legend. Let's first decouple them and then let's look at the scientific side of the matter. 10 past 10 theories. The time of death of leaders. Especially those who live in the United States think that this time is symbolic. Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, or Martin Luther King Jr. As such, there is misconception that the time of death of US leaders is 10 past 10. Meanwhile, these three people also lost their lives as a result of the assassination of them. Only Lincoln was assassinated at 10:15 p.m. while watching a theater play, but he died the next morning. Therefore, this cannot be the real reason. Commemoration of the Great Tragedy. Another urban legend is that the clocks were set to 10 past 10 a.m. to commemorate this great tragedy as an atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima or Nagasaki at this time. It is reasonable thought that it should be a reminder of humanity to never forget perhaps that most painful event not repeat this mistake. However, this event also occurred at 2 past 11 and quarter past 8 in the morning. Theory of inventor of the clock. Some also believe that the inventor of the watch died at 10 past 10, and therefore it is attributed to him to show the dials that indicate this watch in that way. Not only his death, but also the supposed time of birth of this inventor was 10 past 10. Those who have gone further suggest that 10 past 10 is an eureka moment about the invention of the clock, and that this is first time a working clock shows the correct time. But who is the inventor of the watch? As the one who invented the first pendulum clock, it is usually the 7th century is shown the Dutch mathematicians and scientist Christian Huygens. Because he invented the pendulum clock, it has opened the way to measure time very precisely. He is a really great scientist. Carl Sagan's contributions to science are also described in great detail in his book Cosmos. But what led to the fact that such an invention as a watch has become what it is today is a series of inventions and developments that have been going on for centuries. Humanity has gone through a lot of stages, such as sandals, water lilies, sundials, right? The sign of victory. It also looks like the letter V, which is the symbol of victory. Isn't this location of the clock? You know, we do it with our fingers. Actually, we are making the unital ladder of the English word victory, that is victory. Some of them are says that this was chosen in order for the feeling of positivity and hope that was formed after the end of Second World War to be left as a sign of times. Because in order to create the ladder, we in an hour, it must be set to 10 past 10. Say what? We don't have any information that proves this theory. But there is also nothing to prove otherwise. Therefore, if you think that the letter V evokes emotions such as positivity and hope, you can believe in this theory. The real reason why the watches are present 10 past 10 is because they sound more this way. Yes, watchmakers have noticed this. The reasons that make it sound more can also be listed as follows. The first reason is clarity. First of all, when the hour and the minute hands of the watch are on at 10 past 10, everything that remains under it looks clearer and clearer. If there are other details on the clock, they are usually placed in position 3, 6 or 9. He is not covering it up. The second reason, symmetry. People like symmetry. It tends to symmetrical shapes rather than asymmetric shapes. 10 past 10 provides such an image. The third reason, framing. Watch brands are usually located just below 12. When hour and minute hand are 10 past 10, they frame the brand of the watch and direct attention towards that area. And can the reason consist only in this? For example, at 20 past 8, the brand and other details look clear and clear, but also symmetrical. Yes, it is, which is why it was present way until the 1950s. But is there anything in this form that catches your attention? Doesn't he look like a sulky human face? Yes, it is. That's exactly why the Hamilton Watch Company decided to reserve it. The fourth reason, smiling. When you reserve the position of the hour and the minute hand 20 past 8, it looks like a smiling face. Manufacturers and buyers must have loved it too. So much so that Timex made it a rule in 1953 and placed it in the style guide. They even determined the position of the second. They said that if our watches are photographed, they should be taken exactly when they show 9 past 10. Somehow, when other watch manufacturers and photographers began to follow this consequently and conscientiously, it became a kind of industry standard. The author of The Power of Now says, in investing, we would never expect someone to look at the clock and say, that clock is smiling, but it's definitely a feeling feel. He adds something else that we would expect from the author of a book that has a huge smile on its cover. It's a typical example of subliminal cues used in print ads. Are going to say that they really think about such subtle details? Watchmakers spend more than $500 million a year on marketing. Only Rolex allocates a budget of more than $50 million a year to show its watches to more people and impress them more. In their watches, the time is always 10 past 10. If there is even a model showing the date, it is the 28th and Monday of the month. If you Google to watch brands on this list, which shows the annual marketing budgets on manufacturers, you can see that the vast majority of them are about 10 past 10. Therefore, we can say that they did not leave to business to change. Marketing feeds on science. As with almost everything, data is used in this regard. An experiment has been conducted on this subject. Subjects were shown clocks set to 3 different time periods: 10 past 10, 20 past 8, and half past 11. In other words, a smiling face, a solemn face, and a neutral state. This study presented empirical evidence for the first time to the idea that using watches with a time setting that resembles a smiley face, such as 10 past 10, can positively affect the emotional reactors of observers. Moreover, they were not even aware that the time setting shown in the first stage of the two-part experiment triggered this effect. In particular, female subjects liked the clocks showing 10 past 10 more. In the second stage, which was matched with pictograms, it was observed that a relationship was established between 10 past 10 and the smiling face much more decisively. As you can see, even behind the setting of the clocks to 10 past 10, there is a human touch. When we meet a watch, even a masked facial expression in it enough to change our state of emotions. So, do not skimp on smiling from your face, not only at 10 past 10, but also at any time of the day.